Let me show you. We're going to do a little whiteboard nationalism here. People tell me, Nick, are you a white nationalist? I say, no, I'm a whiteboard nationalist. I'm a whiteboard nationalist. We're not white supremacists. We're whiteboard supremacists. And here's your infographic here. This is using numbers from FAIR. FAIR is the Federation, the Federation of American Immigration Reform. And so I'm using the numbers from there. They estimate that there are 12.5 illegal immigrants in the country and 4.5 million citizen children of illegal immigrants. So 17 million in total illegal and their citizen children. And using those numbers, they estimated how much money per year illegal immigrants are costing the American taxpayer. And they came down to $116 billion per year. $116 billion. And people might say, oh, well, Nick, what about taxes? The left might say, well, Nick, illegal immigrants pay taxes. They pay sales tax. They pay other taxes. If it's costing $116 billion, they're paying at least that in taxes. Wrong. $116 billion is after taxes are taken into account. If you look at the numbers, illegal immigrants actually cost us in total $135 billion. But if you subtract the taxes paid, which is $19 billion, only then do you arrive at your 116. So the 116 billion number is pretty solid. It's pretty hard, though, to conceptualize what $116 billion looks like. So I contrasted it with the increases in Trump's budget, which we talked about yesterday. And the biggest items which he added to the budget for this fiscal year was the $80 billion that is pumped into defense as a result of ending the defense sequester, which began during the Obama administration, the $18 billion for the wall, and the $17 billion for health and human services to combat the opioid epidemic. And so it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. You add up all the numbers on the major items in Trump's new budget, which are things for Americans, defending Americans with the military, building our wall to keep illegal immigrants out, and having more money to fight the opioid epidemic. And that is still $1 billion short of the annual cost of illegal immigration in every state. $116 billion per year. That pays for everything and then some that Trump proposed in his new budget, including the wall. And the wall is a one-time purchase. So, and that's to say, in the first place, when Chuck Schumer and the Democrats say, we have to pay for the wall, Donald Trump said Mexico would pay for it. I don't really care. I think Mexico will pay for it, and it would be nice. But regardless, anybody who has a concern about the wall it costs money. It costs too much money, or it shouldn't cost any money at all. Compare the $18 billion the wall would cost, this little purple slab, to the giant red marker annually that illegal immigration costs. This is a one-time cost. This is annually. And then on top of that, you have to ask yourself, if this is costing us, the American taxpayer, $100 billion per year, you factor that into the deficit, you factor that into the debt, you factor that into things we cannot pay for, you consider the cost, not only we're paying another $100 billion, but in terms of things we cannot buy with that money, defense, things for our young people to combat the opioid epidemic, things for infrastructure, then you really start to understand the cost of illegal immigration. And there is not a single person who can make a convincing argument, not a single person on planet Earth who can make a convincing argument from a fiscal standpoint that illegal immigration is justified. That building a wall should be anything but an absolute necessity, unquestionable, undebatable. And so there it is. There's the illustration, pretty clear. Illegal immigration versus budget items.